Seems reasonable on the play. We'll have to see if we want to go Thalia or Benalia. I never said that sentence out before. Alright, looks like we're going Thalia. Let's make Rakdos really difficult for them. Do nothing. Yeah, okay. Peacekeeper's pretty annoying too. Adeline does a lot of damage though. Peacekeeper take their Infernal Grasp is quite annoying. Let's start with an attack. There's sticks. They could have cut down here. Let's see if they eat it first. They eat the damage first. Alright, so they probably have cut down here. Or Voltage Surge. And we'll likely see it now before we get to resolve the Peacekeeper. Yep, Voltage Surge. Okay. Alright, well, let's take their 3-drop ideally. Harvester, Underdog, Fable. They actually don't have the land. Naming Harvester, I guess that means they play the Underdog instead. I guess we just take... Oh, they do have the land. Anyway, they do have the 3-drop. Alright, let's just take the Fable then. I didn't see that in the back there. Alright, so they're taking off their 3-drop. So they have to play... Looks like they'll play a Harvester here. I don't love the trade, but it's probably fine. Double Benalia. Next turn, they're going to want to play probably the Fable, or they could go Underdog and Harvester. Benalia is not bad because we can just make him indestructible. So I suppose I'm okay with that. All right, get him with the Peacekeeper. They'll probably take the trade. Yep. Drop Guardian number 1. And drop Guardian number 2. And here, see what they deploy. They're drop off both our creatures to make them indestructible and force through damage this turn. They're getting close to that Invoke Despair, though. Alright, so they decide to double spell, looks like. Maybe this plus Underdog. Yeah, alright. Well, it's interesting, but we can force through some resources here. Initiate. We want to drop Adeline and maybe drop off both these other cards to make it indestructible. I think that's fine. Alright, let's see it. Trade 1. Alright. Drop off a Guardian or the Initiate. Initiate's interesting because it's cheap. I kind of would like to get an Initiate growing. I'm okay with that. Okay, opponent drops to 15. Yeah, we can deploy you this turn. I'm fine with that. We have a nice token to sack for Invoke Despair, so it's really not a good play against us right now. Invoke Despair is at its worst against a wide board with only 1 creature to sack. No enchantments, no planeswalkers. Okay, they pick off one of them now. Couldn't have stopped that anyway. It's -X, not destroy. And Voltage Surge on the Adeline. Okay. Pretty cheap answers. And the Fable comes down. Okay. Well, we don't need to attack with the 1/1. We can go Initiate plus Benalia this turn and hold the land. We'll attack with you, enlist. Attack with you, and enlist you. That's all fine. The ordering is fine. I guess in general you want to make this guy bigger first, but it doesn't matter. Not a land. Paragon's pretty good. Alright, let's see if they want to block or not. They don't take it all. We do not need to deploy the land this turn, because we're going to draw the Paragon anyway. So, end here. When it gets a nice draw, discard off. They are down to 9. They drop off a Liliana. They know we can just sack the token. Do they want to Invoke Despair? They want to Shoulder it instead. Alright. Well, time to test our metal. Okay. The game begins. So you probably want to enlist both and drop off the land. Oh, it's just 1 creature? Only 1 creature. Okay, my bad. Well, if that's the case, no attacks this turn. Drop the Paragon. We're only going to play one thing. Let's drop the land here. Actually, we don't have to, because next turn if we hit land, it doesn't matter. And if we don't hit land, we can play out this land. So we'll just hold here. All right. Can we get there? Draw a card. Flip the Fable. Things are getting dicey very quickly. We could invoke Despair, take a nice draw, gain a ton of life. Yep, resolve. Drop off you. All right. Yep, gain more life. That was a slow trigger. Another land. Okay. They want to attack us back. No, they don't. All right, here we go. Add a line. Interesting. I think we want to attack with the Guardian. Peacekeeper's interesting. Dahlia's interesting. Sadly, probably have to drop the Peacekeeper, just in case there's a backup Sheoldred in there. So I think we enlist the Paragon and get in there first and see what happens. Then post-combat, we drop the Peacekeeper. And unfortunately do not get to double spell. Now we could whack him with the Paragon instead, but I don't hate the Scry here. So let's just do it like this. Tap you. Take our Scry. How do we get out of this one? That's not it. That's also not it. Now we're attacking for 5. They want to block there. Okay. Go ahead and drop off this land. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I think we have to drop the Peacekeeper here and take a look at that hand. Now, the good news is every time the Peacekeeper dies, or when it dies, we do get 2 life. Invoke Despair again is pretty bad. I guess it's got to be that. Yep, I'm glad we took a look at the hand. Had to do it this way. End here. Let's see if they drop off the Despair. They do, yeah. That's the weakness. Versus the Elite Spellbinder, you strip that out of the hand and exile it, but the ability to cycle cards that have been picked by the Peacekeeper is powerful. What's with 18? What's going on? How do they get this high life total? What's happening here? This doesn't seem fair. Soul Transfer the Paragon. Yikes. All right. Goodbye, friend. Play Liliana. Sack the Initiate, I suppose.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
Yeah, probably the Initiate.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
It's fine. You get in there for 4. Potentially. Nothing to copy at least yet. Next turn they can play the underdog and copy it, which is a quick turnaround for them. No blocks. Eat it all. Down to 8. Alright. Well, life total dwindling very quickly here. We're definitely going to play out one of you. The question is, do we just lose on the crackback? The answer is basically yes. We can at least attack with the Peacekeeper. That much is easy, because it has Vigilance. Plus thing is fine, honestly, because we have the backup Adeline anyway, so I don't care about that. The only question is, do we go face or not? We have to leave someone back to block the Sheoldred, and it's probably the Guardian. So I think it's just like this. Yeah, you can go here too, I suppose. All right.
Fine. I'll take my zombies and leave.
Yeah, take my zombies and leave. That's about right. Ugh. All right. Things are looking dire, friends. I don't know. All right, they play the underdog. Probably going to copy it. We do have some okay blocks, at least on the underdog. 1 Adeline. Manual taps. Copy the underdog. Feels great. Okay. What if we double block the Sheoldred? What if they even attack with the Sheoldred? They do not. Okay. Well, we take you easily. Could take 3. Go down to 1 next turn. Don't love that. Could block with the Benalia also. And drop the backup Adeline. That seems very reasonable. Let's do it like that. But, draw 2 cards at 18 life does not feel very good. At 20 life, excuse me. And a Bank Buster, which can power up and block. It's interesting, but does not really do it. It does something, but it doesn't do all the things. Alright, so they run it back next turn. They have 2 attackers. They have 3 attackers. Double underdog plus shouldered. We have to block 2 of them. Actually, we have the lifelinker. If we enlist the peacekeeper, we have 1 adversary back. They attack all. We block shouldered for 4. Go up to 8. Go down 6 from the underdogs, and then draw and lose. So we have to leave the peacekeeper back, which means we can't attack with the Benalia. So that's it. It's just Adeline. Okay. Hope is futile. At least we can attack with the adversary this coming turn. And they don't have good attacks with the underdogs anymore, because our squad is holding them back. Okay, they take the draw, go up more life. Play out another Fable. Now we are priced into attacking with the adversary this turn because we have to get the lifelink. Otherwise we are dead. Mechanic ain't it. Down to 2. It's possible we play you before combat just to get Adeline a little bigger. I don't know that that matters at all, though. In fact, I don't think it matters at all. Might not block, though. They like the resources. Let's see if we can get a little more damage through. I don't know if it matters. Alright, you're getting in there. You have to get in there. And I think we need our blockers back still. So that's how it is. Copy the token. Trade the fake token with the adversary. Nothing we can do about that. Take the free block there. Oh, they take a chump there. Okay. Interesting. Well, they don't have anything to copy. Except for backup infinite underdogs, but maybe a step in the right direction. Well, we don't have terrible draws. We could get a Sarah Paragon. Let's not forget, if we do block with the Peacekeeper, we do get 2 more life at some point, which might be crucial. Crucial to stalling out the game even longer. Oh, okay, here we go. Just buckle in. All right, looks like they have removal for Adeline finally, which is unfortunate. This is our only attacker. Soul transfer, exile, goodbye. Get back another creature. Yikes. Okay. Copy the Harvester. Pick off the Mechanic, or just attack. It's a great attacker, too. They want to pick off the Benalia while they can. Just being systematically dismantled currently. All right, that's probably it, right? If they got the Kiki-Jiki online and a Harvester, they just remove everything for the rest of the game. So that's not ideal. Peacekeeper again. But I think that's it, friends. I don't think we can get past the Harvester Kiki-Jiki combo. They've gotten to this point. Probably going to get the rest of the way. So I'll give him a good game. I don't think we're going to get, I don't think we're going to get there from here. On the play, looking good. Dr. Ruckus versus Dr. Mango. An epic battle for sure. On that Golgari life, I like that. Let's get the Benalia down. That's just fine. I'm trying to adversary gives us 2 turns of pumping, which is kind of interesting. The Initiate. Yeah, that's fine. We got the Paragon on 4. Let's try to guarantee 2 turns of growing the Initiate. Ooh, alright. Potentially a janky mill here. They do have a 1/1 blocker, unfortunately. Which we're probably just going to slam the adversary into. So much for that plan, but that's okay. Attack away. Take the free block. Take 2. And we'll just deploy everything. Can always play back the adversary later with the Paragon on a subsequent turn. Third lands. Fable, alright. Fable doing Fable things. Brutal Cathar, that's a pretty good draw. I'm down for that. Okay. At some point we could potentially pick off one of these enchantments with the Initiate. Alright, what do we got now? We got a 1/1 thing. Little spirit token something. Kieran Touch Orochi. Wants to attack, though, which is awkward, because we don't care if it attacks. They draw off a Titan and a Workshop. All right. Next turn is Reanimation turn, so we got to We got to make some moves soon. All right. Adeline. Well, it's probably Paragon turn. Probably a boost the Benalia turn. And that is all. So let's enlist the mechanic, I suppose. If we had to block with someone, let's do the mechanic. We really don't want to block with the Cathar, in case that matters long game. Nope, that's not it. Let's enlist the Cathar here. Take our Scry. I like the adversary. I'm not sure we need more Benalias in general. We need to go bigger than that. Okay. See if they want to block. We drop off the Adeline to make it indestructible, because we can get it back with the Paragon later anyway. They eat it all, though. Drop to 7. And I think we drop the Paragon here. They go land -4 Massacre, everyone loses. And next we can play back the adversary from the graveyard, which I don't hate. Plus it flies. And despite being a Soul of Windgrace, this guy does not have flying. Alright, well, they're going to start copying things next turn, so this is bad. Become indestructible if they discard a land. Thinking about that now, too. If we could hit lethal this turn, that'd be great, because they're one turn away from just deploying a Titan regularly. Cruelty of Gix, let's see where they go. Are they just getting the Titan back, I presume? Yep. Here comes a Titan. Okay. Do they take the shield counter? They might go Life Rhino, because we do have outs in the form of, they do take Life Rhino. Okay. Well, we could get Valorous Stance at some point. The game isn't over, it's just infinitely more difficult now. We have some life total to work with, though. So, let's start here, I think. Yeah, actually, that was probably the wrong move. We probably had to attack with the Paragon, throw away the Paragon, and get the counter on the Initiate and pick off the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki before it's too late. That sounds awful, too, though. Just to be clear, they have 5 blockers. We have, what, we get through 3 damage or something, so it's not worth attacking. What about the Benalia? Get in for 7? That seems reasonable for me. Alright, you get in there. Nope. 1 attacker. Guess we enlist you. Take that Scry. The other option is to do nothing. Flip the Cathar and try to double spell a subsequent turn. Thalia, probably not what we need this instant. Probably not. Okay. Drop off what the adversaries we want to play next turn anyway. Yeah, that's fine. All right, like I said, I think that was potentially a mistake. I didn't want to throw away the Paragon, though. Yeah. Maybe what we should have done... There was no way quite to... I think maybe we should have enlisted the Benalia just to become 6 power and attack with the Benalia and the Initiate and sacrifice the Initiate to, yeah, okay. Well, we live with our mistakes. Let's just eat this one. No blocks here. It's fine. And we absolutely have to pick off the Kiki-Jiki this turn. No excuses. Release the Inferno on the Paragon for 7 damage. Okay. And we kill you too. Well, that's not very fun. Teachings, okay. Ooh, baby. It's a tough life, friends. Peacekeeper. All right. Again, we have to deploy the Initiate this turn. It's a little too late at this point, I think. We have to order the triggers correctly. So maybe we crew with the Cathar. All right. You're enlisting. You're attacking. You are being enlisted. Order the triggers. Sure, that's fine. I don't know that anything helps. Like, what really helps here, you know? More Paragons. All right, you're a 6/3. But it's not done before combat, I guess. It's when you attack, so that doesn't even work. Oh, the pain. Well, I didn't make a mistake. But I still lost, so that's good too. On the draw, let's freaking go. Blue Island. Wonderful. Get a 1-drop down. A little bit of stick there. What do you got for me? Consider. Okay. Let's see what you have learned. We're going to have a juicy Thalia for them on turn 2. I would love for it to stick. I'm so interested in it sticking, I might not even deploy it this turn. Start with an attack. Let's drop the Benalia. That's the card I most want to get countered here. I really want Thalia to land. Alright, good. Excellent. Excellent. Exactly as planned. Alright, if you just want to slam the Jinn, I'm okay with that too. Alright, well, we have a little more mana to work with here. Okay, I think we attack again and just drop the Peacekeeper this turn. Maybe even a Benalia if we want to. Okay, 1-drop go in the distance. I probably want to counter the Peacekeeper. That's fine. We're not ready for them to land a Jinn, so we want to take a little risk here. We don't have anything that can bash through a Jinn yet, so we're going to take this risk, see if they counter it. Syncopate again, X equals 1, that's fine. Could have countered anything we had deployed this turn. Alright, they want to keep going. We don't have more land. We've seen 2 counterspells. Might be time to drop a Thalia. Let's keep whacking them. I think we still want the Peacekeeper to land if possible. Alright, let's try another Peacekeeper. Show us another counterspell. Impulse, alright. Now, it's nice they did this beforehand, because now, once they put something into their hand, we can then pick it, unless they have the counter. Unless they drew into the counter, which is possible. They could have Make to Spear. Okay. The Jinn or the Terror? How expensive is the Terror? Terror's only 3 mana right now. It is a 5/5 with Ward 2, which is pretty freaking annoying. The Jinn is a little bit easier for us to deal with, in fact. Makes March cheaper. I think we need to name the Terror here. That's going to be a nightmare for us to get through. Not the Terror. Hold on. Not the Terror of Mount Valarian. Alright, there you go. Let's do it like that. Of course, they can bounce it and play it, but that's a precious use of resources. Alright, a lot of land. Here comes the Jinn. And in response, we have a Paragon. Can also pump squad and just whack them, but then, of course, they bounce the adversary, so that's not a good play. Paragon doesn't actually do much. Benalia forces them into some awkward moves. Maybe it's Thalia plus Benalia. As funny as that is. Let's go with the Thalia first. And Benalia second. So now we can do some things like attack with the Benalia, drop things off, play back Paragon later, but we don't have any good attacks this turn. Alright, and here. Just have to be mindful about betting Hope and March screwing up our plans. They want to attack. Okay, that's fun. That's some confidence right there. I mean, they can march our entire board away. Maybe that's their plan. Adeline's pretty good into that. They let us move to combat. They're going to want to bounce someone. I think we get an Adeline cooking this turn before combat. I'm okay with that. And I think we just attack all. I think they're going to try to march us and race us on the way back or something like that. They bounce you now. Okay. How badly do we want to scry? 0 to the top. I don't think we need the scry. I think we just hit attack all here. If we scryed into a land, we could double spell the adversary, but we don't even necessarily need that. Let's just attack all. Let's see if they march our entire board away. I think they might march the Peacekeeper. Does that remove the effect on the Terror? It very well might. Yeah, I bet it does. I suspect it does. Have not seen the interaction yet. Timer comes out. I'm sure they're figuring out the march cost. It is complicated with the Thalia. Got to do some maths, plural. All right, phasing you guys out. Yep. So that's why we did not enlist the Benalia, because I figured if we attempted that route, then they would be able to phase out all 3 of our attackers. So we at least got to shove through a little more damage. We're down to 16. Opponent does have a 6/4 Jinn. Now this Terror does appear to still be 7 mana, so that's interesting. Impulse here. I was not sure. I guess I was wrong about that. I thought maybe that effect... All right, no, it is cheap. In fact, it just showed 6 or 7 in the UI for some reason. Down to 8. Cathar, not enough mana to take the Terror. We can take the Djinn, though. Then what? Attack all? We have to take the Djinn no matter what. Or we lose. So that's not debatable. Then the question is just, do we attack all or not? We could get the Benalia in there. If we just hit attack all, they take 6, drop down to 6. We could just attack with the Benalia. Yeah, that's fine with me. Alright. Enlist. Just do it like that, I think. Tap you. Scry. What do we really want here? Plaza's interesting, but not super helpful. How good is land this coming turn? This turn we're going to play Cathar. Next turn, we really just want more Cathars till the end of time. Right, we could double stall Adeline plus the adversary, but I don't think that's what makes or breaks the game. Technically, we go like this. All right. And we'll see. If they can stop the Cathar here, then we just straight up lose anyway. So, it may not matter in the end. Okay. They eat it, and this is the moment of truth. Does the opponent have the counter spell? There is stick. What is it? Is it a bounce or counter? It's a counter spell. Okay. And we cannot pay 2 mana for it, so we lose to the Djinn, to the face. Yeah. That's it. We keep that. Decent looking curve here. Goblin dude going wild on the right there. Plains Mirror. Get the 1 drop down. Mountain. Do nothing. Alright, so we're looking at removal. So the Guardian plays pretty well into that. Go ahead and attack first. See if they want to wait to see our 2 drop. They don't. Too bad. That's okay. Again, we'll drop this. Plays pretty well into removal. And we'll end here. 3rd land. Okay, could be a control, in fact. Not quite sure what's going on here. Adeline, not bad. Nice fill in the curve here. Drop you down. See if they want to cause us to tap the Guardian. They don't. Okay. Alright, Valorous stance there. Nothing we can do about that. And whack him for 2 here. And end. 4th land. Yeah, so far only removal spells. Atsushi Blazing Sky. Okay. 4/4 flyer. A lot of land. Probably drop the Paragon this turn. Maybe Intrepid Adversary the following turn. Try to get in there. Seems pretty reasonable. Alright. No attacks. We might enlist next turn. 5th land. What else you got? Well, decides to get aggro with us. No blocks here. Take 4. Maybe they have backup. Not sure. I was about to say backup at Sushi, but it is legendary. Ao the Dawn Sky. Okay. Well. We can certainly enlist. We can also pump squad with the adversary. It's better to drop Adeline this turn if we can. Let's drop you before combat, I suppose. We're all tapped out anyway. Figure this out. I always forget if, yeah, now we have to attack first. Alright, we want to attack with you. We want to enlist just the attacker. Okay, enlist you. Alright. Scry. No more land. What do we even think of Thalia right now? I don't think it's amazing what we're trying to do. Could probably stand to take a 3-drop instead. At this point in the game. Alright. 5-2 coming through. They can block. We can safely drop off the land at this point. Okay. They just block there. Fine. I think instead of dropping the adversary this turn, we're going to try to go land adversary next turn and pump the entire team. Alright. Went with a lot of land here. 2 attackers. They attack with both. Interesting. One of them has vigilance. Can't block regardless, though. Down to 7. Well, that's not a good sign. So they probably have removal here. And we might want to leave back the Paragon. I don't think Thalia is going to be enough to counteract the removal anyway. We could play a backup Paragon. Could go Thalia backup Paragon this turn. And they have enough blockers to survive one more turn because they got to have at least one removal spell here. Let's start with Thalia. Okay. We want to leave back both blockers. So we could just attack with the Adeline. Or we can enlist the Guardian. Okay. We're going to do this before combat just to make Adeline a little bit bigger. Even though it gives away extra information. Move to combat. Attack with just you. We're going to enlist Adeline here. Okay. Again, don't need more Thalia. Alright, so we have an 8-2 coming in. Okay, they take the chump block. And so we'll find out if they have double removal spell, pick off both Paragons and just win. But we'll see if they have it here. Nothing else we can do. Okay, first removal on the Paragon. And the question is, do they have one more for the second Paragon? Lightning Strike face, that also does it. Alright, you got me. Good game. Attack with both. We chump block AO, we take 4 to the face, and we lose. Close game, but they got there. This is not an amazing hand for our aggro deck. One goes first. Yeah, it's pretty bad, unless they drop Kiki Jiki. We can give it a try, because Adeline on 3 is strong in general. Blue. Well, we're going to have answers to the Djinn, which is nice. And they're not going to be able to spend any counterspells for the first couple turns. So if they tap out and get greedy, Impulse. We can successfully land a single Adeline. But we have answers for the Djinn and the Terror off the bat. So this actually isn't the worst matchup to have such an awkward starting hand. Take their Impulse draw. Third land. Do nothing. Alright, well, Slumming Adeline is going to get countered. How do we feel about that? Other option is do nothing, just let them keep drawing. I think we're fine. I mean, we'd love for them to tap out. Because if they feel comfortable playing the Djinn this turn, then we can go land, destroy evil plus Valorous Stance, and that should be enough to get through a counterspell. So we actually land Djinn and have them not suspect the double removal spell. But they play through it anyway. We can try another Adeline here. Try one Paragon, then we can double spell next turn. I mean, neither of these plays are on Make Disappear, and they can syncopate whatever they want, so no matter what we play, they have the ability to counter it. But not with 1 mana. Ooh, drop off some negates. Yeah. And they got a Consider off. Alright, so they're going to have very cheap Terror, potentially. Paragon lands. You can play like Adeline from the graveyard next turn. 5 mana. Is it Terror time or Djinn? What's going on here? It's Djinn time. 2 mana open. Potentially room for 2 whole counter spells. Well. Let's work through them. Attempt number 1. Negates. And attempt number 2. Make Disappear. Great. No Zax. Get wrecked. Okay. Yep, 8 to the face. Down to 12. Terror comes down. So now what? Now we're trying to top deck Cathars. Or, yeah, Brutal Cathars. Well, we can trade both Paragons for the Djinn. I don't hate that. But, of course, they have something else. Just lovely. Perfect, beautiful draw by the opponent. Held on to that 3rd copy of Negate just for our, you know, non-creature spells in our creature aggro deck. We're dead here. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Take 5, drop to 7. Does Cathar even do it? More land. Peacekeeper, it's not a Cathar. Paragon blocks another turn. Pretty futile effort. It does stick this time. Yep. Take 5, and now Cathar alone does not do it. So there's no top deck that allows us to survive here. And in fact, it's a land. Beautiful. It's fine. Welcome to the post-game deck tech. Mono white aggro. Lost every single game I played with it today. Does that mean it's bad? No, not at all. Not even close. I bet on average this deck does win about 60% of the time, but sometimes in a game with variance, you lose, and sometimes you lose all at the same time. And that's okay. That doesn't inherently mean that the deck is bad. It just means you had a bad day, your opponents drew well, or you were in the wrong matchups or whatever. But I do think there are some notes from today we should take when constructing this deck. I did tweak the deck as I played over the course of the day, and these are the changes I made. First off, I took out 4 copies of Hotshot Mechanics. Yes, there is the argument that if you're going to win at all, you need to hit them hard and fast, and so you need 8 1-drops to get in there early, and I completely see the merit of that. But the biggest issue with this deck, man, is anytime you run up against a creature with 4 toughness, you are brick-walled for the rest of the game. And if your only answer in the deck is Brutal Cathar, and you are hoping to top deck one of the 4 copies of your Brutal Cathar to give you a chance at all of doing anything, your chances of winning are low, or much lower, I think, than running some other options. By the way, just to enumerate the issues, the Djinn, 4 toughness Djinn, the 5 toughness Tolarian Terror, the 4 toughness Soul of the Windgrace, and the 5 toughness Sheoldred are all huge issues where once they come down, if you don't have an answer, your board is often brickwalled. So you need answers to that. So instead of running 4 copies of Hotshot Mechanic, and I understand the merits of being very aggressive with more 1-drops, I'm instead running, or over the course of the day, I added more and more Valorous Stances, which can destroy target creature with toughness 4 greater, and destroy evil. Same thing, both have alternative effects, destroy target enchantment, or gains indestructible. It's possible you shouldn't run Destroy Evil at all. It's nice to think that against a successful Kiki Jiki, you can pick it off before it pops off and starts copying Titans every turn. But that scenario is not incredibly common that they get to that stage of the game. And it's possible you could argue that if they've already got their Kiki Jiki without Summoning Sickness, you're probably going to lose that game anyway. Like, that game's gone on too long. So maybe you don't run any Destroy Evil because Valorous Stance is going to be better in the aggro matchups where this is less of a dead card. It can just make some random creature indestructible and pass through combat. So maybe you go 4 Valorous Stance, 0 Destroy Evil. I think that's totally acceptable. In the 2-drop slot, we're definitely running 4 Thalias. It's your only chance against control decks. Just slow them down a little bit. You got to have that in there. But then what about the split between Benalia and Sentinel? I do still think Sentinel belongs in this deck somewhere. I do think the ability to strip instants and sorceries out of the mono blue Djinn deck graveyard is valuable, and I think being able to strip your opponent's underdogs out of the graveyard is valuable. And yes, I don't think it's quite as good in some scenarios as Benalia because, as you probably saw in some of the games today, at least Benalia can enlist something and get up to 4 or 5 power so that it can compete with the multiple 4 toughness creatures out there that really brickwall the deck. So I like that about the Benalia. I like that it has the ability to pump up and compete with those more powerful cards and at least continue attacking. But I do think some amount of Sentinel has to belong in the deck because the ability to strip cards out of the graveyard in terms of the mono blue deck, in terms of the Tenacious Underdog, even any Reanimator decks is valuable. So I think it belongs in there somewhere. 3-drop slot, just run all 4 of these, or 4 copies of each of these. I think that's pretty standard. Adeline, again, is one of the only creatures that can get to 4 or 5 power, which can compete with these big creatures that otherwise brickwall your board. And yeah, at least, something like 4 Paragon. It's good. It's very good. You could drop it down to 3, I think, especially because as we'll talk about shortly, mana base, I trimmed a little bit of land down from 24 to 23. I think you can shove in 1 Plaza of Heroes. I think the chance that it really hurts you is low. I think the chance that it helps you win a game is also very low, but I think 1 is probably fine, and maybe one day you can exile it to give target legendary creature hexproof and indestructible. 2 Aganjas, again, just shove in more removal into the deck. It's only 4 damage. It cannot pick off Sheoldred, but it can pick off the Djinn. It is channel, so it is uncounterable. And, if you have to slam one of your cheap creatures into the Sheoldred and pick off the rest of the damage with the Aganja, that's totally acceptable. So at least 2, maybe 3, but I think 2 is about right because anytime you can't curve out because you have 2 Aganjas in hand, that's it. You're going to feel pretty sad, but I think at least 2 is correct. No Wandering Emperor. I think the Paragon's probably a little bit better. Anyway, that's the deck. I lost every single game today. That doesn't mean it's a bad deck. I do think it's a good deck, but I do think you need to tweak it a little bit for the meta to make sure you can answer as many 4 toughness creatures as possible. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. I'm Dr. Rakdos, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.